When you turn the key or press the start button, the car's battery provides electrical power to the starter motor and ignition system. The starter motor engages the engine's flywheel, which helps the engine begin its rotation. In gasoline engines, spark plugs ignite a fuel-air mixture, creating an explosion that pushes pistons down. Diesel engines compress air in the cylinder to a high temperature, and fuel is injected, causing ignition from the heat alone. After a few cycles of combustion in the engine cylinders, the engine can continue running on its own. The starter motor then disengages. The engine cylinders continue to ignite fuel-air mixtures in a cycle: intake, compression, power, and exhaust strokes that produces a series of explosions. Each explosion drives a piston down in its cylinder. The downward force of the pistons turns the crankshaft, which is a rotating shaft that converts the linear up and down motion of the pistons into rotational motion. This is essential for transferring power to the transmission. The rotational energy from the crankshaft is known as torque, which is the force that makes the car's wheels turn. The transmission is a system of gears that manages the power from the engine and adjusts it according to the speed and torque needed by the driver. In a manual transmission, the driver changes gears to control the car's speed and torque. Each gear changes the torque delivered to the wheels, with lower gears offering more power at lower speeds. In an automatic transmission, the car shifts gears on its own based on speed and load. The transmission uses a torque converter or a continuously variable transmission, or CVT, to modulate power delivery without manual input. After passing through the transmission, power flows to the drive shaft, a rotating component that transmits torque to the wheels via axles. Wheel rotation and movement. The differential is a gearbox that sits between the wheels on the same axle. It distributes torque to each wheel and allows them to rotate at different speeds, which is especially helpful for turns where the outer wheel needs to cover more distance. Power reaches the wheels, causing them to spin and, through friction with the ground, propelling the car forward or backward. The rubber of the tires provides grip on the road. This friction is essential for the car to accelerate, brake and turn. And driver controls, acceleration, steering and braking. Pressing the accelerator pedal increases the amount of fuel entering the engine, which increases the speed of combustion, making the engine and wheels turn faster. When the driver turns the steering wheel, the car's steering system changes the angle of the front wheels, altering the car's direction. Modern cars often use a rack and pinion or electronic power steering system for smooth turning. Pressing the brake pedal engages the braking system, which uses hydraulic pressure to clamp brake pads onto the wheel's discs in disc brakes or push brake shoes outward in drum brakes, slowing wheel rotation and stopping the car. Control systems and safety features. The Electronic Control Unit, or ECU, is a computer that monitors and controls many aspects of the engine's performance, fuel delivery, and emission control systems. It can also control other features like traction control and stability. Anti-lock brakes, or ABS, prevent the wheels from locking up during braking, allowing the driver to maintain control during emergency stops. Traction and stability control systems monitor the vehicle's movement and automatically adjust engine power or apply braking to individual wheels to prevent skidding or sliding. Stopping the car. When the driver releases the accelerator or applies the brakes, the engine's power reduces and the wheels slow down. Braking generates heat as the brake pads apply friction to the wheels, which dissipates the car's kinetic energy. Once the car stops and the driver turns off the ignition, fuel injection stops and the engine stops running. The starter disengages and the battery is no longer supplying power to start the engine, ready for the next ignition.